Hello everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Tammy Lee with trying to get it to work again here. Just a second, let me make sure everything's going good. Yep, we're live, yay! So, I had to go back on with my phone again. For some reason, Zoom is not going live in our Facebook group. So now that I know I'm live, now I gotta figure out how to set the camera up. Let's see. How am I gonna do this? Hi, Diana. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Makeshift Happen, the spiritual variety show. Coming to you live every Wednesday. For those of you that are new to me, that are not used to this show, I am Tammy Lee, a multidimensional facilitator of healing and transformation experiences from A to Z. We leave nothing unturned. Today, this wonderful Wednesday, how are you all? How are you? No, really, serious. With things, I know there's more than what's going on here in the. For those of you that are new with us, okay, let me just. I'm gonna end up putting my hand up here. Let me see if this works, so I can set this down. Well, that doesn't work either. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Get a box of dog bones. There we go. Yes, I'm a little bit distracted because I'm trying to get this set up right. And things that I'm grabbing to help me do that. There. How's that? So just take a deep breath. As you come into this space, just take a deep breath and allow all things from just a moment ago that can be frustrating to now, just let them all fall away. Fall away, fall away, fall away. As we gather in this sacred space. One of the things I really wanted to talk about today is being in our bodies. So many times people leave their bodies and don't really know that they're doing that. And I used to be like that. Didn't know that I needed to be in my body because the way spirituality was taught to me years ago, growing up with, is we had to connect up here, up here, up here. So, which ends up being that we can actually leave our body because we're connecting up here so much, and we literally leave our body. And then there are so many women that are not connected with their bodies, and our bodies are human. This human self wants to teach us, wants to inform us of what's going on, of the different things that it's got messages for us. Like, for instance, my hip hurt the other day, and I'm looking for another box. Yeah, I'm a little distracted because I feel like this should be up here like this. So my hip hurt the other day. Now, if I was not in my body, I would not feel that hip hurting. But being in my body, pain point that you have, pain point trying to say. So I'm not at home And right now I'm actually in a facility in Oklahoma. And so I'm just hoping that the internet will work. And let me know, please. I should have asked this already. Let me know if you can hear me. That would be awesome to know that. So find a pain point on your body. So, and as you like breathe into that pain point, first of all, breathe in, connect with your heart space, allowing all things to go, all things, everything, just let it fall away for this moment in time that we're together. And now breathe in again, and breathe into your heart space. And take a deep breath into that. And as you breathe into your heart space, now take another deep breath and breathe. Find a pain point in your body. Hello, Diana. Hi, Pam. So good to see you. Oh, Mindy, thanks for joining. And as you find that pain point in your body, as I was sharing a little bit ago, so yesterday my right hip was just really aching and just was very uncomfortable. So I'm asking my hip, like, what is it you want to say to me? Couple of things. So ask your pain point, what does it want to say to you? Are you so mad at your body? Wow, that brought up emotion, because there are a lot of people that are just so pissed at their bodies because they're not what they think they should. Their body is not what they think in their imagination it should be. The perfection. So today is about loving our bodies, being in our bodies, because our bodies want to tell us stuff. Our bodies do not want to be forsaken. Our bodies want to be in relationship with us, our soul and our spirit. This is what our soul is living in. Our spirit shines through our body. There is so much emotion coming up right now. And I know it's not just mine. So if anybody has it, just be with that emotion. Let it rise and let it rise. Let it come up. Because our bodies, there's so much stuckness. Yeah, new word, stuckness in our systems, in our bodies, because it's trying to get our attention. So yesterday, when my hip is cramping and then it goes up into my lower right back, I wasn't paying attention. So it got stronger and stronger and stronger. And what's it saying to me? As I breathe into it, Tammy, you haven't stretched yet today. I literally know the things I should do in order to keep my hips loose and liquid, which helps my lower back, which helps that right hip and the turning of it, because then I'll have to go see a chiropractor because the pelvic bone goes forward and my hips get twisted. And stretching is one of those things that help prevent that. And I did not do it yesterday until my hip hurt so bad that I couldn't take it anymore and had to get up off the chair, quit the work I was doing, and start stretching and go for a little walk. And do a little, like a slow movement, like a belly dance, to get that movement going again. And see just how my hands are? There's an energy that's moving through that. And that is moving through my hips. So find a pain point. As you find that pain point, take a deep breath. Sometimes when I yawn, it's either I haven't taken a deep breath in a while, or a lot of times when I'm on live with you, it's the energy. It's just moving. And ask those parts, one part, ask that part, what is it that it wants to say to you? I've been feeling like you know how you swallow a pill and you can't get it down all the way? And it kind of feels stuck in your throat? Well, I've been having that feeling all morning. So I'm asking that space in my throat, what does it want to say? Like, I feel into it. I say, I see you. So that part of my body knows I'm paying attention, knows that I'm present with it. Do you follow me so far? Let me know, okay? Let me know. Just go ahead and type into the chat. I see you. It knows you're present. I acknowledge you. You're acknowledging the feeling. Is there something you want to say to me? There's a truth in here that wants to be spoken. And I know who it needs to be spoken to. Sometimes it's self, and sometimes it's somebody else. Our bodies can literally get tied up in knots when we're not speaking our truth. And a lot of times that can happen in the throat. That's like anything that's associated with the throat and the higher chest, like the thyroid, throat cancer. I truly, truly believe my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, passed away from throat cancer. And I truly believe with everything and all the trainings I've been through and the work I do now, it's because she never felt like she could speak her truth. And with that, emotion comes up. So allow that emotion to rise. Because it doesn't want to be stuck in us. It wants to be set free. So I'll be curious after I have a conversation with the person that I know this truth needs to be spoken to. Because it's not always an easy conversation. Is it, ladies? And sometimes it can make us a little bit yeah, sometimes those tough conversations can be a little bit intimidated. But as long as you're speaking your truth, as long as you're speaking your truth, it's easier to walk through those feelings of intimidation, maybe being a little scared, maybe being like, shit, I don't know what that other person's going to think of me, but I cannot hold back my truth. Because then we're not respecting ourselves, we're not respecting our soul, and we're not respecting our spirit when we do not speak our truth. And we can catch ourselves in not speaking our truth, and it's not about beating ourselves up. That's why I have a mentor. I believe so wholeheartedly of having a mentor that is beyond my capabilities, so I can aspire to be even more. And I want somebody that can see me, see my blind spots, see me where I can't see me. And this happened even a couple weeks ago where she's like, well, and I'm telling her a situation, and she's like, well, Tammy, did you speak your truth? Like, holy shit, I did it. Like, holy crap. So it gave me the opportunity to go back with that person at that time, which happened to be my husband. And I did this last week, to speak my truth about a situation and how my feelings were hurt. So, was I a little nervous? Yeah, I was like shaking inside. And, but we got through it, and we talked about it, and it had a really nice conclusion. We always have those opportunities, whether their person's alive or whether they're passed over, when we need to speak our truth. I've been working with a lot of clients lately that they've needed to speak their truth. And with people that are passed over, and it's usually parents. Parents or grandparents, that's what it seems to be a lot of. It seems to be this ancestral thing that's happening, that's coming forth, because that's really in. And sometimes these come to us, these like moments of thought come like that, in order to say, oh, I didn't know that was still there. Because sometimes our those beings that are on the other side now, they want you to speak to them, to allow what wasn't right while they were alive. Wow, there's a lot of emotion coming up with that. Again, because now they see it, now that they're on the other side. Wow, I did not think I was going to share this. Okay, so I have a story that portrays this perfectly. I had a family member that when I was a little girl, did some sexual things to me. And when he passed away, I was like maybe 12 or 13. Trying to think. No, I was actually a little older than that. And at his funeral, his kids were like, I was happy. I didn't care he was dead. At that time, I was a teenager. I'm like, well, I'll never have to worry about his touches again. And my cousins came up to me and they said, my dad's dead. Why are you not crying? So at that time, I pretended the person in the coffin was my dad, so I could cry. So I would not be judged for not crying. And years later, so I'm 58 now. So that was around when I was 14. I'm 58 now. So I'd say probably about 10 years ago. We'll just say 10 years ago. 10 to 13 years ago, I was doing a meditation. And it was a forgiveness meditation. And I was asking, who in particular wanted to come forth so we could talk in this meditation. So I'm in an altered state. And I'm thinking it's going to be my grandma, because I miss her, and I just so love her. She was like my saving grace growing up. She was the epitome of love. She is what I knew of love, because I never felt loved. I never ever felt loved growing up. And who ended up coming forth was this family member. I was shocked. So he's passed over, right? So this is 34. So 14 and 44. So it's at least 30 years later. 30 years later. And this family member comes forth in this altered state I'm in. And he's asking me for forgiveness. And I can literally hear the remorse in his voice. And instantly I forgave him. And instantly I felt his whole system, I don't know if you would call it his soul or his spirit or whatever, but I could feel the breath, like had been waiting for me to be open enough, to heal enough of me, to be open enough to allow him to come forth, to have that conversation. To have that conversation. And in that moment, I knew that he was capable and able now to move on, because that was keeping him stuck. That needing to have forgiveness from me, pure forgiveness. He was able to move on in wherever he was. And that was 30 years later. 30-some years after his death. So I ask you, ladies, to pay attention to your bodies. Pay attention to those pain points. Ask that of what it wants to say to you. Some of the situations, like, how we were speaking of the truth and there's a block in there. Because sometimes we can speak our truth. Who here has anything with their throat or their neck? Or neck always being out? Yeah, and you need to go to the chiropractor, or there's something that is just something that in this upper body, there's your thyroid, your whatever else is in there. Who's got issues with that? Is it because your truth is not being spoken? We're using that as an example today of being aware and letting our body know that we see it, with these different pain points. I see you. Yeah, I'm just swallowing right now to see if that feeling of a stuck pill is dissipating. Of speaking our truth. Because sometimes that's all it is. A lot of times that's all it is. To release that energy of speaking our truth. Even when it's tough. Even when, if it's with a person. So now I'm feeling a little drainage. So there's some energy moving that it's even in my sinuses that I can feel drainage in the back of my throat dripping down. That's interesting. Hey. Hey. So we're using the throat as an example today of being with our body, being with the pain point or uncomfortableness. It doesn't have to be like a major pain. You know, if you have a pain in your butt, okay, this just popped in. Maybe it's because you were called a pain in the ass while you were growing up. How many of you were called you're a pain in the ass? Well, when that gets said over and over and over and over, sometimes maybe that pain in our buttocks or, you know, all those different muscles in there, maybe that is part of that pain. We don't know until we are in awareness with that part of our body. So as we're using our throat as an example, it's also our voice. When we're able to use our voice fully. About 2 years ago, I started having tones that started dropping in. So now, and I was always told, okay, I told you, I'm 58. I grew up hearing the words. You can't sing. Don't sing. Would you stop singing? Even a music teacher in junior high telling me, like I got a C in singing class because I couldn't carry a note. But it was the way everybody else thought I should sing. And if I can find the clip, because you can actually literally hear me, because tones started dropping in 2 years ago. And I have this, it even makes me emotional. It even makes me, like I know there's transmissions coming through these tones. So if you go to theemeraldcompass.com, that's my website, there's an audio with my voice behind the audio. That is pure healing frequency. Check that out. theemeraldcompass.com for the toning video, audio. And let me know what you think about it. I had 2 women last week that said one was mesmerized, one wanted to buy a track of that toning. So you never know when you pay attention to your body, when you truly are with it, when you truly say, I see you, I acknowledge you, because then it knows, that part of you knows that you're paying attention, even if just for a moment, and it wants to tell you something. So who right now is doing that? Let me know. Type it in the text chat to tell me if you're getting a message. Sometimes, so as you're doing that, let me know. Hi, Sina. Hey, Carol. Thanks so much for joining, ladies. Because we need to stay in our bodies. Some of you have worked with me one-on-one and in groups, and you know how incredible the work we do together on a multi-dimensional facet, and how different beings can come and visit us. And staying in our body when these beings come helps us to be more clear, to help us to be more on point. It helps us to experience it, the interactions. Thanks so much for joining, Luann. You really need to go back and listen to the beginning of this, because we're talking about staying in our bodies today, and how when we have a pain point, oh, okay, I'm going to use this one. So, I used to work out at the rec center, and I had a coach. And so this is about 8 to 10 years ago too. And I'm going up and down this little step. I mean, it's just like that, with a 5-pound weight in each hand. So nothing really, right? Actually, it was more like this. About the size of a milk crate. About like that. And I'm going up and down, because we're just working on my balance. So just straight up and down. And my left knee started hurting. I'm like hurting. And that's all we're doing. So I tell my coach, and he gets me a shorter box. And it's still bothering me. So instead of telling him again, I'm present with my knee. And I ask my knee, what does it want to say to me? Because I'm about ready to cry. And and right there, I'm holding my emotion in the gym. And I hear my knee say, I do not feel supported. Like, holy shit. Had I not been present with my knee, had I marked that off as, oh, it's just something, or, do you understand what I'm saying, ladies? How we can, what's the right word here? We can disassociate, that's not the right word. We can dismiss something that's trying to get our attention. Like right there in the middle, working with my coach in the gym, and my left knee starts to hurt. Now, I had injured that knee 20 years before, but I knew it wasn't that injury. Just that ache. And I hear it say, once I'm present with it, and I ask it, what is it you want to say to me? I hear the words. Now, you may get your messages different, and that's okay. I hear the words, I do not feel supported. And that just like flushed all through my body. I just when I started to cry. And then I started to think, you know what? It was right. There were different areas of my life I did not feel supported. And I never realized that up here. And I probably felt it in my heart, but never wanted to. I would dismiss it. So staying in our bodies, building that relationship with our physical self, asking those pain points. Find a pain point right now. Take a deep breath. Because how many people, remember, like Somebody has a pain. Stubbing a toe. Yeah, it hurts like hell right at first. And you might be cussing at the chair or whatever you stubbed your toe on. Stubbing your toe. Okay, so you stub your toe. You're pissed. The pain settles down. Then you ask your toe. Here's another example. You ask your toe, what is it you want to say to me? That happened to me a few years ago. Yeah, my body really wants to talk to me, right? That happened to me a few years ago. And I literally sprained. I ran into a chair. Let me do it like this. Say this is my toes. Ran into a chair and it went so hard that it just split and I heard a crack in my left foot. Because I've been rushing, and I would not slow down. Even though I know to do that. Gotta push, gotta do. But doggone it, doing that to my toes, not like it was on purpose, but my body wanted me to slow down. I was not listening. That literally slowed me down. Because I could hardly walk for days. So I had to sit with my foot up. Being in our bodies, women, is one of our traits that can bring more of our pure, sacred gifts forward. How many of you are wanting more of your sacred gifts to come online? Let me know. You want some more of your sacred gifts? I still have gifts that are dropping in years later. And right now I know that I'm in training for something. I don't know what it is, but I can sense that. So staying in our bodies is one of that way, communicating with our bodies. Do we push ourselves too hard? I'm not a runner, but somebody on here is. Do I run so much that I push myself over a limit? Is my body saying something else? Is my body saying, because I even have a daughter like this, push in her workout, and her body just kind of cracks. It did 4 or 5 months ago. Or maybe it was a year ago. I don't know. But it's her body didn't want her to push through those workouts that she was doing. She had to literally walk with a walker for 2 days. So see, when we stay in our bodies, when we listen. So I know some of you just joined us. So when you find a pain point, I really encourage you to listen to the very beginning of this, those of you that just joined us, because we're using our throat as an example. So all morning long, I've had this feeling of I swallowed a pill and it didn't go down, but there's no pill in there. I even drank more water. So that feeling, that sensation, I ask my throat, what? Okay, so I take a deep breath. I'll just go over this again. I take a deep breath, settle into my body. I take another deep breath and go into my heart space. And then I take another deep breath and I have my focus, my attention on my throat, and I say, I see you. I'm seeing that space. I want that space, that sensation, to know I see it. To know, and I say, I see you. And I take another breath. I acknowledge you. So I'm acknowledging the sensation. And then I take another breath, so now I'm in a really relaxed state, sometimes an altered state, And I ask, what is it you want to say to me? And I sense, sometimes I have many different gifts. I can see and hear different things. I can sense, or I know that I know. I can hear words. And I heard the words, speak your truth. I knew exactly. That sensation was telling me that. And I knew exactly what it was I was supposed to, what it was I'm supposed to speak and to whom I'm supposed to speak. And that will happen today before I go to bed tonight. And that will happen today before I go to bed tonight. Did you just catch that? How my voice cracked up when I first said that? I caught that. So I re-spoke it again. Do you feel the difference in that energy of staying with that sensation, of staying with the awareness of hearing your voice even as you speak your truth, as you speak what you're feeling is coming up. And it's not your fault if other people cannot handle your truth. Ladies, we are in a time now. Like my elite group, my elite circle that I have with me around me, if they do not speak truth, they're no longer in that circle. And there's been people in that circle for over 30 years and they're no longer there. I do not have time. There is no time. But I don't put up with that crap. And I know it's scary. I know it is scary to speak your truth, especially when you have not spoken it in your life. I know it's intimidating. I still get scared to speak my truth. I still feel the shakiness to speak my truth with certain people. And that's what's going on. Now that I'm sharing that with you, that feeling of having this pill stuck in my throat is dissipating. Just by me acknowledging it, just by me talking about it, sharing about it, it is dissipating. And I can even feel my energy rise. Yeah. So pay attention. So what distracts us from paying attention to our bodies? What do you guess? What do you think? Mine used to be that I thought spirituality meant being up here. All the angels are up here. Oh, every spiritual thing is up here. And then I would start to have people say, Tammy, you need to ground yourself. Tammy, be in your body. Tammy, be... And I'm like, oh. And I've been practicing that for years. Even more and more and more and more. Catching myself when I leave my body. But not always. So don't beat yourself up when you don't. Because that just happened 2 weeks ago? When my husband said something to me and I was pissed. I was pissed. Instead of being calm and letting him know that comment hurt. Immediately, that's one of the clues. Immediately, I was pissed. I was irate. And I didn't say anything. So we're not perfect, ladies. And that's okay. Because that's part of this grand experience. This sacred experience we're all having. That we chose to have as we said yes to coming here. And it can be thrilling and exciting and so life-giving. So I just encourage you, ladies, to be in your bodies, to be in that of which you came here to be, to allow your bodies, to allow your pain points to speak to you. To allow those conversations, that relationship. Because we first need to have that relationship with ourselves. Before we can have the grand relationships with everybody else. Yes. Be in your bodies. Speak to your bodies. Let your body, those pain points, know, I see you. I've already shared twice during this time of different process to use of how to do that. So go ahead and go listen to the replay. And let me know. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and listen to that toning, because we talked about toning earlier. There's a toning audio video on my website, theemeraldcompass.com. Go listen to it. Allow yourself to be immersed in it. There are healing frequencies that come through that sound. Take a deep breath and listen, and then put it on replay. And you will be amazed how that can shift and change things. Be in our bodies, ladies. Start to recognize, and I've already shared a couple ways that we realize when we leave our bodies. Start to recognize when we leave. So we come back and be. We come back and be. Yes, yes, yes. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. I encourage you to watch the entire replay. And if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, and I don't care if they're even something that you don't agree with me on, that's okay. Share them. Share them with me, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your truth. I want to hear your truth, ladies. I want to hear your real truth. And that's something that we do inside the Emerald Compass Sacred Sisterhood. If you need help, I'm here for you. I also do one-on-ones and small group sessions. So just reach out. But do yourself a favor and go listen to that audio, watch the video on the Emerald Compass Sacred, on the Emerald Compass, the emeraldcompass.com, and let me know what you think, and if you did have different things moving through you. Thank you so much for joining. I encourage you so much to go and watch the replay, darlings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's a great, great day. Cheers, everyone.